All right. I can have something like this and I'll give it a feel. But with this guy, I can then come in and say, I want to make it better. I'll press enter and then I'll curve some of its edges. Let's curve that. I'm trying to create like a petal of a flower. One thing I'm just going to do again is after I've done that, I'll press escape because I've already created that shape. I can give the edge like a color, maybe like a pinkish color. Let's just try to create something fun. I can then say inside there's supposed to be like a circle inside, and we all know how to draw circles. You can just use shape to do that. I don't have to create a custom shape. I'll draw a circle. I'll put it in the center. And I'll probably give it like maybe like a yellowish color. I'll probably make it bigger, right? To make this pop a little bit more, I'll add a stroke, but then I want that stroke to have the same color as this stroke here. I'll select this other one, Control C, that stroke, and then I'll just paste it on this one, right? I'm getting some, I can increase the thickness of my stroke and make it thicker. If I need to have things like small dots, I'm not going to use the pen tool to create small dots. I'll just use the pencil tool to create. It's still creating vectors. I'll just do line. I could create as many as I want, but you can see that the thickness is off. I'll just Control Z everything. And then I'll just go back in here and I'll just say 2 because the thickness of this line seems to be like 2 or 1. Let's see what 1 looks like. 1 is not bad, but the color, I want the color to be that pink, that purple. I'll just pick it from here. Then the next, I'll just do line. I'll just do, can do angles of the line just to give it like some kind of, maybe like pulling or the petals. Give him more lines, more lines, more lines. I'm creating something a bit more unique. There's something about colors that we can do. We can actually do gradients. Gradients means a mix of 2 or more colors. The feel here, I can say I want the feel to be like a mix between white and like that purple. I would do white, yellow, and purple. Instead of just going and just saying, oh, yellow, or just going and saying purple. You can do a mixture of the two. I'll first go to white. Then I'll come back here. At the top here, there are different color modes. There's image, there's video, but here I want to have gradient. I'll just click on gradient. Once I select gradient, it allows me to mix 2 colors together. The first I wanted to do was white. The second I want to do is that pink or purple. I'll do that. You see, it is giving us like a nice faded kind of style type thing. But you guys are by no means illustrators, but this is kind of like one of the things I plan to show you guys. I can see I want to do like a mix of yellow in there as well. I want things to fade to white at the edges, but then towards the middle, I want to have like a yellow. I can click in the middle here on this line, and then I can sample yellow. So I have purples and yellows. But I can say this purple is too dark. I want that purple to be lighter. I'll just come here and just go to a lighter one. Maybe that yellow is too yellow. Let's go down a bit. Maybe like go a little bit lighter. I'm beginning to have something unique. I can change the angle of this. You understand? To give it some type of angular feel, right, to it. And then you can see I'm beginning to have like a specific style as well. I can come here to do something called linear. Instead of a straight gradient like this, I can do a gradient that is radial, circular in nature. If I say radial, it will do a round style type thing. At the center, we have white. Towards the middle, we have yellow. And then at the extreme end, we have purple. If I extend the legs, see, it then extends everything. And then the colors are really nice. You understand? How you can do certain things that is pretty much seen all of the icons or illustrations that you guys already see. This is how animators do it. This is how the graphic designers who create their own illustrations. This is typically how they do these things. And at the end of the day, all you just have to do is think of structures like what we did with auto layout. I'll just always think in the sense of anything that belongs with this circle, I'll frame all of them into one frame. I'll select the circle and then I'll select each of these dots. Instead of selecting it manually here, this is going to be too stressful. For me, I'll use the layers panel, and every single leg, I light them together on the layers panel, right click, and I'll just frame that selection. They belong inside one frame together. I can hide them and enable them together if I wanted to. Then this other one as well, then I can add it, all of them together as one, and then right click and frame. I have a frame that has my flower in it. If I want my flower to have a leg, it's just for me to go back to pen tool again. And then I'll just draw pen tool. I'll just try to be like this. I'll probably just give it like a very long leg. Let me zoom out a bit. Let's say here, and that, and that, and that, right? And then end. What do I need to do next? I have to curve the edge to make sure it looks, because the things in nature pretty much have like curved type edges. I'll just curve the edges just to make sure things feel a little bit natural. And I'll adjust it when I'm done. Don't worry. All of those things are adjustable, right? Here, I'll just do this one that their leg is very long like this. Just shorten the leg. It doesn't have to be that long and crazy. This one, if it's looking weird, I'll just bend it a bit. I'll just bend it back like this. Here, just bring it in a little bit so that it doesn't bend too much. Then before it's already have like a leg, and I'll press escape and I'll just add a feel to it. If the leg is supposed to be like a green plant, right? I'll probably just go green. I'll remove the stroke because I don't want a stroke, and go maybe dark green. And then I'll just take this and I'll bring it here. But this guy should be behind that guy. All I'll just do is right click. I just say send to back, and then it's under it. We have a flower head and we have flower leg. I can even resize my flower leg to be smaller or bigger if I wanted to. I'll just position it there. And this one too, all of this and this one will then also be a frame together. We have created something custom. It is inside. The way I dragged it, you guys will notice something. The way I was dragging it, I have dragged it inside of the frame of the entire flower. But you see that this frame doesn't resize itself. It will never resize itself. This guy, I want this guy to be outside of that. All I'll just do is drag it out of that from the layers panel. It exists on its own. But what I just want to do is I want to drag it in a way that my mouse is not dragging it directly inside this frame. I'll position it here, and then I can then select the petal. Let me just name this petal. It's here. And then the stem. I just call this stem. Then I can select both of them together. Right click and frame selection. And then we'll just say flower. This is the entire flower together. You understand? We created something kind of nice as well. And this is how you can actually create other things. But then if you need illustrations for design, where do you find them? There are some plugins you can use. Tori was mentioning a plugin yesterday, Icons 8, right? Icons 8, let's just go in. Icons 8. Basically, this is Icons 8, right? Here you can find things. You find 3D icons. They have Illustrator generators. They have a Windows app. They have plugins for Figma and all other apps as well. They have animated illustrations too. If I go inside animated illustrations, you see 3D glassy illustrations in here, glassy type style that you'll be able to use for your design. But them are paid, they are not free. You can see this one. This one is animated. But I cannot see any animation happening. Let me first switch to static. Okay, this is the animated one. So it's going to be downloaded as a video. You cannot edit the color of an animation. Even this, you cannot edit the color of this. The only way you can edit the color of this is if you created this yourself in a 3D software. Let's check this one as well. Let's see what it looks like. This is what it looks like animated. And then there's the static one. You can download it and just take it in. But remember, inside Figma, we also have the plugin for Icons 8. If you have a subscription for Icons 8, it's just to pretty much just run it. And then it will synchronize with your, and then you can get illustrations, you can get whatever you want. The 3D sticky one, 3D modern, any type of illustrations you want, you will find them inside of here. You can just drag them and drop. You understand? Then you have the icon you want. You understand? This one too is here. You can also use it. But there's also the SVG versions of the icons. There's also SVG icons. If I come to all styles, let me see. Let's go back to illustrations. Say we want to see all of the styles that they have. Let's go down. I need vector, yeah, illustrations. I need these are vector based. So anyone that looks like flat design, these are the ones that we call vector based. I'll grab this. And these are flat SVG. One of these ones are images. You can use them freely. But the ones that you can actually change the color and manipulate and modify to your own needs, then you actually have to unlock them because they are probably paid. Let me click and drag. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. It actually came in, but it came in as an image. That's the problem. This plugin will give you any icon you want as an image, but you cannot change an image. You can only change the color of an illustration. That is why it's saying unlock SVG will not take me here to then buy SVG packs. I'm not buying any SVG pack. What is then the alternative to find if you need any plugin, you can explore yourself as well. Just come to plugins and search for illustration. You see so many different plugins that has sources of illustrations here. You would find them. Them has 3D image ones, them have the ones that are flat and you can manipulate. But one of the best places that may I find my own illustrations is there's a place called community. If you click on explore community down there, it will bring you to a page like this. Or you just have to just search. Once you search for illustration, you see so many of them, right? These are plugins. You can filter down and say, I don't want to see plugins. I just want to see Figma design files. That's just what you want to see. Once I click on that, then I would see, and I don't want to see paid and free. I just want to see free only, and all creators, which is fine. These are 1,700 hand-drawn illustrations that you can use. This is 1,600 free illustrations that you can use, free SVG and PNG. Let's just open this one, or let's do the 1,700 one, just for the example. Let's open in Figma, and I'll just open in one of my projects. Let's just open. These are illustrations, and here, see many pages, different things. For education, see illustrations for education here. But you can see them are images. They've already tricked us to come here. Oh, PNG images loading slowly. Install our plugin for free. They tricked us to come here, thinking that everything is going to be free. But let's go up and let us look at some of the earliest ones. Everything here is actually image. It's still kind of like trick, but they just want us to install their plugin. That's what they did. Again, things can be misleading, but these are the vector ones anyway. These are the ones that you can change. They have a page called All Vector Illustrations. Let's grab one of them. Let's grab this guy. Let me just Control C. Let's just come to our Figma masterclass file. Let me just paste it, Control V. This guy, I can enlarge this guy if I want to. But if you look at it, I can select this guy's hair and I can press enter and I can decide to make this guy's hair, can decide to say I want to make this guy's hair afro. I can decide. I'll just move things and bend it. And then I can carry this again. I just have to make this guy's hair like a very big afro. I'll move it. Just the basics. It's just you just paying attention to things and spending time. But most times you don't have the time to be spending all this time on illustration for most projects because not what they'll be hiring you to do primarily. Let me just see. My guy is on afro. You understand? I can choose to change this guy's hair color. I say I want the guy's hair color to be red. This book, instead of blue, I want it to be purple or pink. This airplane, I can say, I don't want it to be pointing that direction. I want it to be facing up like this. I can easily change it and reposition it here. You understand? I can select it and change the color of that specific illustration to whatever I want it to be. But beyond that, you can also do texturing. There's something we call texturing. Texturing just means you are adding a pattern to something. To do texturing, you have to find something called textures online. And Google has a free textures. I can just go to google.com. I'll just search, I'll just say leather texture. I'll just say leather texture. This is what we call texture. These are the things we call texture. See, this is texture. These are textures as well. I'm sure anybody who's a graphic designer here knows some of these things. You can use it to just add some kind of finer details to your design. This one, probably this is the texture I want to use. I'll just copy the image and then I'll come back here. In the fill, I'll click on the color, this color blue, but I'll not click on the color box. I'll click on the space beside the color box and I'll press Ctrl V to paste the texture inside of it. This looks like a leather paper plane. You understand? But beyond this, I can say I want to color this leather. To color the leather, I'll just add a plus and I'll probably just give it like a red thing. And I can just adjust the opacity a bit, but it might be looking too strange. I want to blend things together. Sometimes you want to blend things together. That looks like a yellow leather or maybe like a brownish leather, as opposed to like that black one that they had originally. You can use this to blend things into each other. But there's something called blend mode here. There's a lot to actually take in. You guys are not graphic designers, but this kind of like some important things just for you to know. You can do wooden textures, metallic textures, and then give your own color to it. But with the color you are giving to it, you can also blend it properly. These are all the different blend modes. It depends on the appearance of what you want to go for. There's color dodge, there's overlay, there's multiply, there's darken, whatever. The normal, I kind of see that in Figma personally, the normal color blend kind of works a bit better than any of those other ones, in my own opinion, anyway. But again, depends on what you want to achieve. You can do all of these manipulations however you want it to be. I can say this one, I want it to have a paper texture. I'll just go to Google again. I'll search for paper. I'll just say rumpled paper texture. See rumpled paper texture. If this is what I'm going for, then I could just select one. This is a good one. I'll just say Control C. I'll copy the image by right clicking. I'll go back here. I'll select this and I'll just Control V. I have paper texture there. It's looking like an actual paper, but I can still add more pizzazz to it and just say, oh, let's give it like a small color. We layer a color, a fill on top of that one. I can give it like a red or maybe that pink or that purple. We can increase, but I don't want it to be too much. You can just do it slightly. And then you have some kind of texture in your illustration. For the air one, I can say air texture. Let's say Afro air texture. Nah. See, this is I don't really think I've never really seen air texture per se, but again, let's just say air texture. Not really. These are nice, but okay, let's just try. Let's just play around and just see how this works. So I can copy the image and then I'll go back, select this. I'll select it and just press Ctrl V. See air. And then we can see, let's just layer and just give it a little bit of color. You can make it darker too. I can do like a dark and then like black air, but there's texture there. You understand? And I can choose and say, oh, I want the air to probably be like red, but maybe less red like that. And then it still gives you that feeling. There's so much that you can do. You can manipulate the icons. As long as it's a vector, you can manipulate it, add texture into it, resize it, recolor it, reshape it. You can even create many planes. You can have different sizes of planes that are following each other if you want to for your illustration. There's so many things you can actually do with tools like this. Let me just zoom in. You can say, oh, that one is the main plane. This one is maybe a different color plane. This one will be a different color of planes. And this one will also be a very different color of, let's say, planes. And then basically they're following this guide. And that's that. Understand? Again, it just depends on what you want to do, really. You can get creative with it. But again, remember, our job is not to be illustrator. This thing can be very distracting. You understand? There's so much you can do with these tools, but it can be very distracting. You understand? If you let it distract you, sharp. Yeah, that is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today. The community is there for you guys. You can find so many sources of illustration, but some of them are very tricky. They'll tell you that it's free. You get there, they'll be telling you to go and download one plugin and install the plugin and then pay for one thing. Then they used to lie too. Very nice illustrations. These ones, you'll not be able to modify the texture or anything because this is a 3D. It's going to be an image. But if it is flat like this, flat cartoon-like stuff, then most definitely you'll be able to manipulate and modify it.